So, after reading the assigned chapters, the first aspect that I found to be very interesting, and not only interesting but beneficial as well, would be in chapter 6 when it discussed his feelings towards the girl in gym class when they were learning how to square dance. He described the nerves of excitement he felt as he reached out his hand and looked into her eyes during the long beats. It also mentioned on page 118 that a New York psychiatric medical doctor by the name of Michael Leibowitz has shown that when a passionate attraction occurs, a chemical substance called phenylethylamine is released into the brain. This can cause lightheadedness and shortness of breath sensations. Personally, I have felt this way before the first time I saw my girlfriend in our very first couple interactions. In order to fall in love and stay in love without losing our minds, we must thoroughly understand that Christ comes first in our relationship above anything else. The second aspect that I thought was interesting was in chapter 7 when it was discussed the "it just happened" choice. It talked about a scenario when their relationship became consumed with physical connections and interactions which changed their relationship dramatically by incorporating sex into every single date. Because of this, Lauren changed her summer plans and rearranged them completely to be with her boyfriend Mike, which caused Mike to feel comfortable and which eventually led him to get bored and resulted in them breaking up. I feel as though most couples, especially 17 to 24-year-olds, so around the senior in high school to their senior year of college, have this mindset because society around us has integrated that the physical connection in a relationship is almost as important or more important than the emotional or spiritual connection. So I can personally relate to this because my girlfriend and I have understood this very quickly in our relationship and have set boundaries to hold ourselves accountable until marriage, which has improved our emotional connection and is now carrying us to grow together and realize how healthy and mature our relationship is now because of these prior existing choices we made. So at this stage of my life, the information given to me has allowed me to reflect and apply not only my personal growth, but as well as my relational growth from friendships to romantic relationships. This information provided has allowed me to seek beneficial ways to properly and effectively find ways to recognize my strong emotions that I have with my girlfriend. It reminds me that God is above anyone and everyone else. So in order to benefit spiritually, I must put God first, and in order to benefit my relationship with her from a religious perspective, I must devote time out of that in order to grow in my relationship with Christ. So a spiritual or biblical principle that corresponds with information I learned this week was that when in a relationship, the couple should always desire to put Christ first during intense emotions of new love, because it can cause blindness for why we are really put here on this earth, which is to serve Him. So instead, we must quickly recognize these powerful emotions and look to a higher being by taking time out of our earthly connection and find ways to devote our time and relationship to Him through a spiritual connection. So lastly, I just want to say this verse that I found. So it says in 1 John 2:15, it states, "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him."